Welcome back to Get Lost with Brooks. Today we're going to head off the beaten track in Death Valley to explore the remote and beautiful Eureka Dunes, North America's tallest sand dunes. It's a place that most people never see, but you can. I'll tell you why it rocks, how to get there, and what to bring. So stick around. This is Death Valley National Park, 5,270 square miles of desert that's home to the hottest recorded temperature on the planet and the lowest point in North America. Most people visit Death Valley on a road trip and never leave the pavement, but they are missing out on some incredible places and adventures. Why? Either they don't know about these places, they don't know how to get there, or they think it's too scary to try. The truth is, it's easy, and I'm going to show you how, starting with one of my favorite places in Death Valley, Eureka Dunes.
Spinning around, caught up in the devil's wands.
The dunes sit in the isolated Eureka Valley on the northern side of the national park, accessible only by dirt roads and surrounded by the Last Chance Mountains, which rise up 4,000 feet from the basin floor. Okay, if I'm being honest, and I am, I think about Eureka Dunes like once a week. There's just something magical about turning into a remote valley to find, just sticking up out of the desert, the highest sand dunes in North America. In terms of visual beauty, I mean, this place speaks for itself. But I will say some things. Clean lines, beautiful colors, and the backdrop of the stunning Last Chance Mountains. I mean, it feels like visiting an art gallery. When I revisit this place in my mind, I feel the sensations again, like the soft sand on my feet, or the intense effort of climbing 680 feet to the top of this dune, or the sense of serenity that only a quiet desert can bring. And listen to this. That's the sound of the singing sand, a phenomenon that only occurs on the steepest, highest peaks when the sand is completely dry. On top of all that, I keep going back to the freedom I felt running down the dunes. This is something I've loved to do since childhood. Surrounded by the so-called Valley of Death, Eureka Dunes is also home to life. 5 species of beetle and 3 plants are found on this sand and nowhere else in the world. And back at camp, we met this long-tailed pocket mouse looking for scraps. Which, by the way, you can totally camp here. There are designated sites at the base of the dunes. Just be aware that the closer you get to the dunes, the sandier it gets. So maybe best to set up camp in the parking lot if you're in 2-wheel drive. That sounds great, but how do I get there? I'm glad you asked, Noodles. From Big Pine, head up Highway 168 to this turnoff just past Zurich. Here, you'll hit the Death Valley Road, a track that twists through the gentle hills until you take the obvious right onto South Eureka Road. And here's the cool thing about this route, actually, two things. One, you can actually keep going on the Death Valley Road all the way across the Last Chance Mountains to Ubehebe Crater Road, and bam, you're back on pavement with easy access to the rest of the park. This is such a cool way to start an adventure here, and I highly recommend it. I'll put a link to this route in the description below. And cool thing number 2, you can actually do this in your car with 2-wheel drive, but there is a catch, which I'll talk about in what you'll need. The most challenging obstacle you'll face on this adventure is Washboard Road. Over time, gravel road develops a wave pattern that resembles a washboard. This means the drive will be bumpy depending on how fast you go and the amount of air in your tires. Here's what it looks like with lots of speed and lots of air. It also means that some 2-wheel drive vehicles aren't cut out for this journey. You're gonna need a little space between your car and the ground. In other words, a Prius might not make the cut, but I've seen plenty of minivans out there. You'll also need basic camping equipment. The campsites at Eureka Dunes have no water, no bathrooms, and no shade. So you'll wanna bring 1 gallon of water per person per day, a shovel to dig a cat hole to do your business, and some kind of shade structure. It's also good to know that the National Park Service does not recommend camping here between May and October due to high heat. And that's how you do it, guys. I want you to experience the magic of this place. So let me know if you feel more prepared or excited in the comments, and give this video a big ol' thumbs up if you liked it. And if you want to go on more adventures like this with me, please smash that subscribe button, hit the bell so you don't miss out. That's it for this week. I hope to see you next time.